All right, what's up everyone? Welcome to our newly lighted studio. You may notice this looks a little different than some of our other videos. We won't get into that too much right now, but we have some new lights and we're very excited about the new lights. So hopefully we look even more stunning in this video than normal, since we are stunning gentlemen, right?
Yes.
We were very curious about the Harley Benton guitars. So we decided to purchase a couple of them.
Yeah.
We're curious about what they sound like, the feel, the finish. We got probably 2 or 3 in from customers over the last year. Some of them were better than others, honestly, and some of them were kind of surprising in a good way. And we were like, well, we should get some for the shop and just kind of make a video about it. There's a lot of Harley Benton videos out there, so if you're finding this, there's a good chance you're searching for something about Harley Benton. So we're going to give you kind of a rundown of 2 different guitars. I've got kind of a Strat style here, and this is kind of the PRS style.
I've got the kind of maybe like the Paul Allender model inspired kind of shreddy P90 PRS thing.
Cool.
With flint top. So.
Well, let's kind of go through. I guess let's start with some of the reasons that we bought them. Obviously, we said that we had customers bring them in. I'm genuinely was curious about getting some. Just what is this going to be like for the money that we spent? We'll go through each model here individually, and we'll actually play for you how these sound. But we'd like to do kind of a mini quick review of each guitar. So do you want to go first?
Yeah, so I guess technically the model name that I have is the CST 24T P90 in the black trans.
That's a long model name.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this is really cool, and the final price, oh, and it even says deluxe on the back.
Ooh,
but
yes.
So it's special. But the final price on this one ended up being $187, not including the shipping stuff, but we were able to kind of like, you know, get this one and that one, and then even like we were saying kind of a little extra thing, and it didn't really affect the shipping cost. So it kind of is almost worth it to, you know, get a handful of them if you are gonna, you know, go for it. But I mean, it's got some premium stuff on it. I mean, it even has the binding and the tuning keys. They were pretty smooth, and it really played pretty good out of the box. I mean, we're pretty biased about the sound of the pickups, you know, but
well, we're going to be doing something about that. You'll see that in a later video. We're going to be definitely swapping those out.
But super comfortable guitar, and like there was not really any, you know, you expect some sort of like fret work stuff and stuff out of the box being kind of out of whack, but this thing was actually pretty comfortable, I think, and there's not really a sharp edge on it, and normally that's kind of what you would associate maybe with something like this, but really impressed kind of with this thing.
Definitely. So what would you say is kind of your, you know, the things that you kind of noticed or like, there's a couple things on that guitar specifically that we were, maybe that's what made it B-stock. We're not really sure because I don't see kind of a major finish flaw.
Yeah.
But something with the frets was a little weird on that.
Yeah, and it's definitely, I mean, you get kind of bound up on the frets when you're bending a little bit. And, you know, the nut definitely needs a little bit of a cut. You know, all the strings are sitting a little bit high, but, you know.
Yeah.
I was kind of impressed, you know.
Definitely.
I paid more for my first guitar, and it was, you know, kind of half of the guitar that this thing was. And
yeah, the tremolo seems like a real kind of stiff on that.
Yeah,
and
it's
the
real stiff.
frets kind of have little chatter marks from, they use probably a metal file as opposed to like a diamond file or something. There was like residue kind of down towards the bottom, a little chattery on there.
Yeah, and I don't actually go for the tremolo much, but yeah, now that you mention it, it is rather on the stiff side.
Yeah, so. It's very, it seems to hold tune fairly well, but it is definitely like you kind of have to really work at it to get it going.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's worth noting, but like usually the Harley Bentons that we have seen, they end up getting modded, and like little parts here and there don't quite fit. So that is like, you know, you might think this is a direct replacement, and hopefully this would be, and you could just swap it out for something. But that is something to consider. Yeah,
definitely. Well, I guess I'll go through this one here. This is the make sure I get the model right. The ST62CCMN Charcoal Frost. That's another long. That might even be longer than your model.
Yeah.
This was let's see, we paid $158 for this guitar. Roasted maple neck. This is a charcoal frost finish. It's more like a matte gray. There's not a lot of frost, or there's not a lot of sparkle in this guitar.
It's melted slightly.
Yeah, it feels good. The neck looks really good. I expected obviously a little bit of fret sprout. That's what we've seen on a few of these Harley Bentons. It's kind of just they take an angle file and go like, you know, run the side, and they don't really round over the frets, which I was expecting to have to do that later on. So that feels good. Action's definitely a little bit high straight out of the box. Again, not not too worried about this. This was listed as a brand new guitar on the site, and there is kind of a finish flaw right in this area. But again, I'm not really nitpicking it for the price that we paid, but we just want to kind of let you know what we got out of the box. So we haven't taken strings off. We haven't done anything to these. These strings are massively corroded.
I was very tempted to change strings.
Straight out of the box, they were very corroded. Just kind of nasty, almost like if you left your guitar in a closet for a while. Just some corrosion. I don't know if that has to deal with humidity or anything, but
dust.
How it was stored. I had no idea how long this thing was stored. I think my biggest thing, the tremolo feels okay on this. Kind of feels like a regular, maybe Squire level tremolo.
Better than this, I think.
Yeah, I think I would say so. It looks nice with the gold hardware and the mint green pick guard. The one complaint, kind of the biggest complaint that I would have, is the nut is cut too narrow. And I'll show kind of an up close shot of that. But the nut spacing was super narrow. So on the edge of the first fret, second fret, there's a lot of space between there. So like the nut's more narrow than it needs to be. So as we modify this, we'll probably make a new nut with a little bit more correct string spacing. The string spacing is actually even, but it's too narrow, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of the major complaint. I would put this definitely on the level of the Squire kind of guitar, maybe just a little bit nicer. As we set it up, I think they'll probably have a more full opinion, just to know what it feels like. The gold hardware is obviously kind of cheap. I think after not even a year, it's going to look kind of worn. But that's most gold hardware guitars. The plating's never nice, right? It just kind of looks. It starts to look like worn out, but not in a good way on a lot of these. And even some of this, I can already see it. It looks like it's starting to wear out. This is supposedly a brand new guitar. Pickups wise, these aren't bad. These are Roswell pickups in both guitars. Yeah. They are not. I think we kind of noticed maybe there's some. They're not reverse wound, reverse polarity. We'll dive into that maybe in another video when we swap them out. But there's not really the true hum canceling in the in between positions. So you're getting still a little bit more noise. My guess is it's the same three pickups in terms of wind and polarity, but we'll confirm that later on in a separate video. But that's the quick thoughts. Man, anything else you want to add about this guitar as you've played? We both kind of went back and forth playing each guitar.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this one is really cool, and the finish maybe isn't super true to like the charcoal frost, but I think like it is kind of a considerable upgrade from the Squire, you know, with the roasted neck and stuff like that. And the gold hardware is a nice touch, but yeah, it does fade rather quickly. Like you can maybe almost see it already on the tuning.
It's almost looking like it is fading out. So if any of you have got Harley Benton guitars, go ahead and comment what you think about the guitars. If you have questions about these specific models, maybe you're looking at purchasing one of these, ask those questions in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video. But I guess let's go ahead and just hear how these sound right out of the box.
Yeah, let's take a listen. Alright, so that was a listen to both of our guitars. I would say, just in my opinion, yours plays and sounds better than this one. That's just kind of the quick reaction. I think each of us have taken some time to take these home and kind of get a feel for them, but that's really where we're at with these Harley Bentons. Overall, I think it was not much money spent. We didn't mention as well, like for the two guitars, it was $78 shipped to the US, so that was express. When they actually shipped, it was probably literally 2 or 3 days to arrive. It took a while for them to process the order, which I'm not sure what that means. But once they actually did ship, they showed up pretty quick. If you're looking to upgrade a Harley Benton guitar, you have one, you're curious,
obviously we are pickup makers and we can make it sound definitely really good. We have some experience with these two models and we're going to be upgrading them in the future. So what do you think you're going to put in that guitar from the Porter pickups lineup?
Well, I think this thing is just asking for, it's kind of mellowed out maybe, but I think the tone that it's asking for is like a vintage P90 set.
Yeah.
Maybe a vintage hot in the bridge, but you know, you can't go wrong with just the regular vintage with the Alnico 2s. I think it really, it complements the P90 thing really well, so.
Definitely.
Maybe that way, but
okay.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see
and I'm just thinking, we have one shop guitar where we've done mixed models. We've done different of our Strat models. So I'm thinking of kind of going back to maybe the 50s or something like our 60s is kind of get back to a little bit of the old school Strat sound.
Yeah.
We've got the vintage customs and we've got some other models, the S90s, that kind of thing, mixed in shop guitars. So I kind of want to just go to, you know, not really specific tone reasons, but put something else that we haven't cycled through the shop, so in the 50s maybe. So we'll do another follow-up video to this one after we've put the new pickups in. We'll show you any problems that we ran into with the installation of the pickups. I know, Marco, you mentioned earlier that there is some hardware issues, and so we'll see how soap bar P90s fit in the soap bar routes that are in his guitar. Get inside this guitar and see what's going on with the wiring. We haven't opened up either of these guitars, so we'll show some more detailed shots as we replace the pickups and then show you how they sound after we put some new pickups in. So don't forget to like and subscribe, comment if you have questions about these guitars, about our pickups. Leave some comments below. You can check us out at porterpickups.com if you're looking to upgrade your Harley Benton guitars. For now, I think that's it. We'll be back with another video to dive into these guitars a little further.
All right, catch you guys on the next one.